started training about 10 years ago and I fell in love. I really wanted to get big. That was part of why I wanted to train, really, was get big, get strong. And like I say, I trained for 10 years really consistently. Man, I was in the gym for like 3 hours a session. I was probably training 3, 4, sometimes even 5 times a week. And I used to do boxing, I used to do rock climbing, and yeah, I was a really fit and active young kid, but I never saw any serious gain over that 10 years. Like, I never really put on any size. I was just always skinny. I was always like wanting to wear hoodies, wearing baggy t-shirts. I hated wearing shorts. Like, my legs were so skinny. I just never wanted to wear anything that kind of showed that off. I always felt like it was, you know, just something that I wanted to hide, really. Back then, I always just believed it was genetics. You know, I was born tall, skinny. That was just the way it was going to be for the rest of my life. And, you know, 10 years into training, having not really seen any result sort of muscle-wise, you can see why I thought that, you know. I definitely thought I was just going to be like that forever. I tried training harder. That obviously didn't work. So it wasn't going to happen even if I trained an extra hour or I got an extra day of training in, you know. I think the kind of moment it really hit for me was about 2 years ago. I remember being sat down one day, and it was when I'd stopped going to the gym at this point, because I just thought, what's the point? You know, I've been going for 10 years. I hadn't really seen any results, and I didn't think that going for an extra session was, you know, gonna do anything more. And I remember being sat there and cancelling my gym membership. And it was quite a pivotal moment for me, because I thought, why would I continue to pay for something and continue to put time and effort when I wasn't getting any results? It just doesn't make sense. So I decided to spend my money with a coach. I paid for a 12-week coaching program. And within that, there was not only the workouts, there was a lot of accountability. So there was like weekly check-ins, we had video calls, my whole like food plan was all sorted for the 12 weeks as well. So there was like zero guesswork. It was just a proven system that was gonna work. But let me take you back a second to before I paid. I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie to you. I genuinely thought it might be a scam. I thought, you know, what happens if I pay all this money and I still just stay the same? I still don't get the results. And, you know, that was a very real thought in my head. I'd probably say maybe 10% of me actually believed that I could do this. The other 90% was super skeptical, was just thinking, yeah, what if it doesn't work? You know, I've tried this before. I've been going to the gym for 10 years and it still hasn't worked. So what's an extra like 12 weeks gonna do? So I paid £400 for the training program. And at the time, I didn't have loads of money in my account. But I remember the sort of months leading up to that, I was spending about £400 a month on drinking, which was quite a lot, to be honest. Like, looking back on it now, I don't think I could spend that on drink at all. So it was a pretty big amount of money to me, but I decided to just go for it. I think the real thing that tipped me over the edge was actually just looking at the amount of money that I was spending on doing something that wasn't necessarily so good for my body, and what the benefit would be if I was to invest that into my health rather than destroying my health, right? So why not try it? And it was the best decision I ever made. I put on 10 kilos in that 12 weeks. I became way more confident. There was no little niggling thought at the back of my mind whenever I took my top off that, oh my God, someone's looking at me thinking, why is he taking his top off? Oh my God, he's so skinny. Like, I didn't want to wear hoodies anymore. I didn't want to wear trousers anymore. Like, I was happy to just be in my own skin and, you know, go to the beaches, go to the pool parties, take my top off. Like, it was amazing. Not only that, I understand so much more now than I did before. So when I first started, I was obviously just doing everything myself. I was trying to just guess my way through it, right? I was like making my own workouts, and, you know, like I'd finish a gym session pretty tired. So I must have been doing something right, but I wasn't getting the results. So maybe I wasn't. I think that was probably one of the biggest things for me, was actually getting a coach and understanding a system and understanding the math behind it. Because once you know your numbers and you track them, everything changes. Like, everything that I previously thought was impossible suddenly just becomes possible. Like it was such a game changer, and in such a short space of time as well. It just goes to show that like having the knowledge and having the systems in place to achieve something is all you need. Like, that is it. And that was the gap in my knowledge. So it was, for me, it was so worth investing into that, because I couldn't get the result by myself. I'd proven that, I'd tried. I think the other thing was actually having somebody on my side who had been through it. They'd been through the struggles, they'd been through the great times, so they knew what was coming up before I did, which meant that, if there was a week where I kind of plateaued, they were like, no, do you know what? It's normal. Don't worry about it. Here's what we can do. And there was always a step to take. I think that was the big thing for me. There was always a way forward. If you're sat here right now watching this thinking, man, I'm literally in that situation, my genuine advice to you is just do it. Just take the jump. It will be the best decision you've ever made. I think investing in your health has so many more benefits than just looking good, right? You look good, you feel good, you start to stand taller, people notice you, people respect you differently. I just want you to imagine, like, say 3 months on from now, you've got that dream physique that you have always imagined you'd have. Whether that be losing fat, whether that be building muscle, you've got the dream physique you've finally been working for. Now, what I want you to imagine is what your life would look like. Imagine what your friends say when they see you like this. Imagine the way that your colleagues respect you with just a different level of respect. I want you to imagine going and approaching that girl that you've found really attractive, that you've been too nervous to go and talk to. Just go and do it, honestly. Your life will change for the better.